President Trump on Monday proposed his budget for fiscal year 2020. It's big because the federal government is big, $4.7 trillion. And everybody in Congress and both parties will say essentially it's dead on arrival.
This is a clear roadmap for a more fiscally responsible future if Congress chooses to follow it.
The budgets that presidents propose bear less and less relation to what Congress actually does every year, so it's hard to take the details too seriously. But I think there are three items in the budget that will create debates and controversies that will live on regardless of what Congress does, simply because President Trump has proposed them. First of all, $8.6 billion for funding for his border wall along the Mexican border. That's 6 times what Congress approved for the current fiscal year, and is a sign that the president wants the fight over that border wall to continue. He wants that fight. He's definitely going to get it. Second, he's proposing billions of dollars in reductions in Medicare spending. Now, obviously, this is sensitive for Democrats, but also for some Trump voters who tend to be more elderly in the first place and who listened to their populist presidential candidate, Donald Trump, in 2016 say he wasn't in favor of cutting Medicare.
I am going to protect and save your Social Security and your Medicare. You made a deal a long time ago.
Yet there are going to be some significant reductions proposed in this budget that will also take on a political life of its own. And third, the president is proposing a big increase in military spending on top of the increase he proposed for the current fiscal year. He wants to take the military budget to $750 billion from $715 billion. Now, this will be controversial because it comes at a time when the government's deficit is going to be $1 trillion next year. The Democrats are going to say we can't afford that much defense spending. Also comes at a time when the president says he wants to withdraw troops from Afghanistan and Syria.
I want to get out. I want to bring our troops back home. I want to start rebuilding our nation.
So the question is going to be, why do you need more for defense when we're pulling back on our commitments overseas?
And to be clear, this is not funding for endless wars. This is for research and development and procurement to fund the most awe-inspiring military the world has ever known.
Again, these are controversies that are going to take a life of their own, regardless of what happens to the precise numbers that Congress agrees upon months from now when it gets through working down the budget details.